Hey, Pastor Brian here. Thank you for joining this quick broadcast as we try to answer these questions that have been sent in to me. Brian at christcovenant.cc. If you have a question, just email me. Today's question is, how is it that Adam and Eve's children and Noah's grandchildren could procreate with their siblings? Biology shows that marriage between siblings, first and even second cousins, causes biological defects that lead to severe birth defects and even death. Well, that's an interesting question, so let's try to get into it here. Yes, the Bible does prohibit sexual relations between siblings and close relatives. If you want the most clearest example, that could be found in Leviticus chapter 18, verses 6 through 18. I'm not going to read the whole scripture for you. But it is interesting within that block of scripture that the Lord himself calls having sexual relationship with siblings and close relatives, quote, an outrageous sin, unquote. However, there are two times when having sexual relationships with siblings and close relatives was necessary to populate the earth. And that would be the creation of Adam and Eve, as well as the repopulation of the earth after the flood through Noah's sons and their families. We see that the Lord issues an exception for what is written in the law and the rest of the scripture by using this phrase, quote, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. There are only two places that we see the Lord using this phrase. And it was in Genesis 1:28 to Adam and Eve, and then again in Genesis 9 verse 1 to Noah and his sons after the flood. As I mentioned before, these were the two occasions when sexual relationships between close family members were required. So the Lord gave a literary phrase to indicate the exception. But it would be only a few generations until the exception was no longer necessary or morally accepted. So I hope that answers your question. The Lord gave an exception in the two times that it was necessary. But then from there on, He calls us to follow His word. If you have a question, you can email me at brian@christcovenant.cc. Thank you very much. God bless.